Mississippi is no longer the only state in the country without an equal pay law for men and women.
Governor Tate Reeves signed the bill into law last week.
This morning, we have a live interview with State Representative Angela Cockerham of Magnolia, who sponsored the bill to create the Mississippi Equal Pay for Equal Work Act.
Good morning, Representative Cockerham. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Good morning. How are you?
Doing fine. Thank you so much for joining us. So, starting off, why do you think this equal pay law was needed in Mississippi?
Well, this bill has been a long time coming. We have tried several years to get an Equal Pay Act here in the state of Mississippi. And prior to the enactment of this bill, the only way that you could bring some sort of claim for equal pay would be through the federal courts. And so now in the state of Mississippi, we have our own state law claim for equal pay.
Will this change anything, or is it merely symbolic?
No, I think this is huge. This is monumental for women across the employment spectrum. It covers public as well as private employees. I think that this will be huge for the state of Mississippi, for women in particular, because as you very well know, sometimes it's very hard to bring a claim in federal court. Litigation itself sometimes can be quite expensive. But now here in the state of Mississippi, if there is a woman or an employee who feels that there's a wage differential, we have a claim, a way to rectify that and remedy that here in the state of Mississippi, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you've touched on this a little bit so far, but what kind of impact would you say that this will have, having this law in place, and could potentially, when it's trying to attract employers to Mississippi, how do you think this will make them feel?
I think that, and let me say this, great steps and study, legal research was gone into the drafting of this bill to make sure that it followed the federal law as closely as possible. But I think in terms of attracting employers or companies here to the state of Mississippi, that it will be positive because there's already a federal law that's in place. But also, as you very well know, we're not doing anything in this particular bill that's different, because an employer would still have to prove, if there is a legitimate basis for a wage differential, then the employer would still have to prove that. Mm-hmm. And so I think with it being the year 2022, moving forward into 2023, we want to make sure that if an employee is working in a similar working condition, doing similar tasks and responsibilities with the same skill level, that she's being paid the same wages.
And how do you feel about the amount of bipartisan support you received for this bill?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. The support was overwhelming in the House as well as the Senate. And so I think that the Mississippi legislature is saying, hey, we want to make sure in the state of Mississippi that we are making sure that we have equal pay across the board. Mm-hmm. And I say from the House perspective, we had a lot of support. Speaker Gunn was in support, fully behind it as well. And you see support among the sexes, male, female, as well across the political spectrum. So I'm very, very pleased.
And is there a message you would say that you hope this bill will send to the workforce in the state?
The message, very good question. The message that I would hope that it would send is that, one, we are proud of our workforce here in the state of Mississippi and the contributions that our workforce brings to our state. And two, we want to make sure that there is equal pay for all of our employees here in the state of Mississippi.
Well, Representative Cockerham, thank you so much for joining us so early from the Capitol. I know you always have an early start, but we really do appreciate you taking the time this morning.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you so much.